Welcome to my home that I've been building from scratch for the last few years. The first year was land development. For the last year, I've been doing my rough-ins, my framing, everything that goes in behind the walls. But our goal is to live in here this winter, and in order to do that, my hope is to be able to have wood to put into our wood boiler to heat our home, to make things a little bit cheaper on our heating costs. This is our beautiful boiler system with backup electrical heat. This is our wood boiler. It heats a hot liquid, sends it to the house, the heat exchanges, and then the heat runs through our in-floor heating our home. This is all the wood that I have split so far. To start it off, we're headed to a friend's house. They had a pine tree fall down. Time to clean it up. What a mess. So we're helping a friend clear this, but at the same time, we're getting ready to fill our wood boiler this winter. So we're gonna be taking anything home that would be really nice for the wood boiler. Any longer pieces, like the branches are quite thick, and the rest of the brush can just go to the dump because this is a lot. I have to say, using a chainsaw and tree felling has been one of my favorite trades to learn. A little story time for those of you who are new here, but I spent my whole life never wanting to use a chainsaw, absolutely hating it when Craig would start up the chainsaw, because when I was 7 months old, my dad passed away in a tree cutting accident. Never hold a rope while someone is cutting a tree. It's super dangerous. Me picking up a chainsaw for the first time really started out as, well, I should probably learn how to use this if I'm going to be building my own home, to be able to cut brush, just little things. It was never ever going to be about felling trees. I don't know why I fell in love with it so quickly, but I did, and I'm so grateful to be able to have this skill because it's so useful for the homestead. Cam got most of this truck packed up with wood. I'm just adding a few extras and we're heading home. Got a bunch cut, and there's still a lot that I have to do. I still have to drop the tree, but I'm gonna do that next weekend. Time to move all of this wood into a pile, or at least chuck it off the truck. I like the way that we built the parking lot being like dug into a bank. You back up right to it and you can kind of just like chuck things where you want it to go. Oh, you're sticky.
Yeah, my hands got murked earlier.
Oh, my gloves almost ripped off.
Oh, this isn't gonna work.
No.
I'm just gonna like dunk you.
Okay.
No, why are you getting down?
I can go over there.
Simple living with Biata, not throwing logs with Cam.
I'm worried you're gonna chuck me.
Yeah, I'll check you good.
Yee. So wet. Is it worth it? Let me work it. I think we're gonna have to get a log splitter in. The pine is too sticky and like spongy, and some of these big rounds it's not gonna be efficient with the big hemlocks and poplars we have. So anyways, see you next week. Okay, I have the wood splitter behind me. First time towing literally anything in my life. He told me to take it off the hitch wherever because they're really, really tricky to back up because you can't see in your rearview mirror. I did pretty good. Like, I got it kind of to where I wanted it to go. And we all fit. So this whole weekend, we are going to be trying to split as much wood as we possibly can. I have no clue how much we're going to get done, but we're going to try. We are a little bit late in the season, and honestly, that's okay. It's not going to be like this every year, but we just don't have a ton of time to be able to split wood this year because we have a home to build and we need to get into it before this winter. And so that's the priority. But yesterday was the last day of school. Today, my daughter is at a friend's house. It's a Friday. My husband is at work. I'm going to get the ball rolling and then we're going to split wood together later today. Okay, I have to show you this for those of you who don't know, because I just learned this today. I went to go buy a new one of these because it's really not sharpening my chains anymore. You can replace the files. Look at it. So I got me some new files. I'm gonna sharpen my chainsaw and get ready for the day. First of all, my chainsaw sharpener replacing the files, such a huge difference. And I have a little bit of sawdust between these two birches. I just want to make sure there's no dirt in it because I don't want to have to resharpen my chainsaw. So this is a cant hook. It helps me roll the log over. It doesn't have a poker on the end, so it's not a PV. Cant hook. Trying to make myself a little bit more room. When you move the logs with the excavator, all of this like crud gets picked up with it, especially as you get to the bottom of the pile. I mean, I'm not a perfect operator, so that would probably be why, but just have to be careful because it'll dull my chainsaw really quick. I know I have a lot more logs to buck, but sometimes it's nice to switch things up. At least that's the way my brain works. I'm going to try hand splitting a few of these because they are so far away from the splitter. And I don't know how I'm gonna back the splitter up this hill. So if they split within 2 to 3 hits, I will just hand split them. If they do not, that's why we have the splitter. Some of these are easy, the others not so much. And I know a lot of people put their logs in whole into wood boilers. That is great. I have the smallest wood boiler. The door opening is very small. I'm not gonna put in a large log. I might not even be able to make it fit. These little guys under 10 inches, sure. These 12 to 14 inch ones, not so much. Honestly, I find it so much easier to just bucket, flip it over, split it on the spot. I don't know how much use I'm gonna get out of the wood splitter this weekend. You guys are probably screaming at me, just use it! Let me tell you, it's much easier to lift and throw a log that's already been split. Oh, a bird made their way in here. Oh, you poor thing. It's a hummingbird. Okay, let's get this door open. Go down. No. Go down. Oh, I feel so bad. I wonder if it will let me help it. Stay down. Don't go to the window that's not working. Come on. Let me help you. There you go. Some lunch, a little rest, a sharpened chain, and back to it. The ground is bouncy here, not helping. You're beautiful. Oh my gosh, my daughter would love this. You're probably so scared though. Why don't you move away? Does anyone know what kind of frog that was? That's so pretty. I always try my best to like get nature away from the loud noises. I find that they like get petrified and don't move. And it's probably so loud. We have a snake. This guy's gonna move along too. I'm sorry I'm ruining these homes for these creatures. So I didn't bring the log splitter here for this kind of wood, the easy stuff to split. It takes less time to manually split it than it would be to bring it over to the log splitter, split it, bring the wood back. What I really want it for are these hemlocks along the edge here. Those were impossible nearly to get through. And this giant pile of hemlocks and poplars. Poplars are really stringy. They're really hard to manually split. And hemlocks have so many knots throughout them on the larger trees that I find them hard to manually split. Now this pile seems a little bit sketchy to climb on and cut. And I don't know if maybe there's a way I can drag or like pull a log out using my truck without ruining my truck. This would be a good log to try to pull out here. I don't know. Is this my sketchiest thought, or is this something that people normally do? I'm gonna call Craig, I think. If this is something he wouldn't do, he's gonna be pissed watching the video. So I'm gonna call Craig and just make sure that this is okay. Then you guys can be mad at him if it's not okay. I'm just kidding. Okay, Craig said I'm gonna be very hard pressed to get any log out of this pile, that they probably weigh at least 1,000 pounds each. And the log that I was going to try to get out is pinched under this log here. So this pile is actually quite a safe pile. Craig has them stacked against these two trees, so there's no way it's going to roll down the hill. What I'm likely going to do is climb the pile and pull it down one by one. But I am going to wait until Cam gets home to make everyone feel safe and comfortable. So I'm gonna work on these hemlocks. These ones are so tricky to split because there's so many knots. Out of gas. You probably can't see it, but there's a stump on this side, which is keeping it from rolling down the hill, but I'm trying to just like rotate it in the spot and it's not working. It's too heavy. Okay, well, hopefully that works. I kind of have the bottom exposed now. My back is so sore. Okay, I can't tell if this is a poplar or an oak. I find their bark looks so similar. I think it's a poplar. Unfortunately, I can tell by the way they split. I'll try splitting one. Actually, it looks really stringy around where the bark is. So I do think it's a poplar. I just want to test it. I don't think I'd be able to lift that if it were an oak. I think it's a poplar. It's actually really sweet smelling. Weird. I'm gonna try splitting one hemlock before I try to bring the splitter over here. Ugh. Hemlocks are heavy. There's so many knots. What am I at, like 10 hits? Be right back. Let's see if this one will manage. Wow. Yay. Okay. That. Option number one, bring this up the hill somehow. Option two, roll all those logs down the hill, split them here, and then carry them back up. I don't like that option as much. Truthfully, don't think there's a single way I can carry this. Oh, it's actually not bad. I don't think that's very safe. Like 6 o'clock at night and my husband isn't home yet. He went out to hang out with his friends. I'm just kidding. He's at work. He's like an hour away from home too. So by the time he gets home, it's gonna be 7. Before I do anything, I'm gonna cool off in our brand new $30 pool. And I filled it up with well water yesterday. It was absolutely freezing. I'm hoping it'll be a bit warmer today. Oh, okay. It's cold. Oh, so many people get ice baths for like doing polar dips at their home. I really don't think we're even gonna need one. Our well water is so cold that I bet we can just fill up our tub inside and have an ice bath and get all the benefits from it. Oh. Time to fire up the splitter. Cam is home. We've eaten dinner and we're gonna split wood on the driveway. I just think it makes the most sense with both of us here. That way one of us can be splitting, the other can be throwing the wood back up. You can tell by my face that this is a very cool experience, being able to split a piece of wood so easily. This machine is able to tilt vertically, and most of these logs are too heavy to lift. So we're splitting them into quarters, which I know may look really small, but it only looks small because the rounds are so large. Actual stacked and dried wood for an indoor wood furnace are split much smaller to be able to actually fit into a wood stove. You would probably have to split a log this size 8 times to fit in an indoor wood stove, where we're just having to split it 4 times. This is one of the reasons why I find outdoor wood boilers are easier, because you don't have to split it as much and you're keeping a lot of the dirt and dust and ashes and debris out of your house. Yay! The way that would have taken me 2 full days. These rounds were so big and naughty. Ugh. I think we split about 2 cord today, which I'm really happy with. Now we have probably 3.5 cords of wood, and we still have the splitter for 2 more working days. Almost 3 more working days, but it's supposed to thunderstorm all day tomorrow, so we'll see. Good morning. It is time to deal with this pile. Our daughter had her first friend sleepover last night, and it went really well. And she's still hanging out and playing with her friend today, so we're gonna try to get some work done. And Cam is here. Our little game plan is for me to be bucking the wood and then him to be moving the logs over the splitter and then splitting them. This is the pile that I really wanted the splitter for. I just think it's gonna be so helpful. They're so big, and the hemlocks I find hard to split. There's so many knots, so it'll just go by so much more quickly. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really have a huge method on how I'm taking these logs down the pile. I'm kind of going across and then up and bringing logs down one by one and doing whatever feels good and safe. One of the main things Craig told me to watch out for when working on a pile like this is to make sure that you're watching your footing and making sure no logs are going to roll on your foot as you cut pieces off. These logs weigh so much, and so that's why I definitely wanted a second person here just in case. But luckily these logs are stacked really, really well and nothing is rolling. Look at this incredible soil that we collected from the logs. Like, it's amazing. We honestly got a fair amount done in a few hours and then just stopped for a lunch break. I don't know how much more I can manage. My head is starting to hurt. I'm getting really tight, but we're gonna try again for one more round and then go pick up our daughter and enjoy the rest of the evening. I'm not quite strong enough, I don't think. You might be able to do it with this axe. Oh,
look at you. You're showing off.
That's funny.
You just wanted me to watch.
I just needed you to watch for it to work. It's moving though, yeah. There we go. Both of us have bad headaches. So what do you think? Do we call it a quits? My head hurts so much. I'm starting to feel loopy. I just dropped our daughter off to another play date. We're gonna get more wood split. My head is feeling better, so is Cam's. I drank so much water, so much electrolytes. I ate a quarter of watermelon last night. I went on a heat pad. I used a massage back rolly thing. I'm feeling better. It's still kind of lingering, so I'm hoping it'll be okay. But Cam was out splitting some more wood while I was gone dropping her off. I honestly think everything in this pile now is pretty inaccessible until we can get an excavator in. Everything at the front is really, really big. Like, look at how big this guy is compared to my head, and it's touching the ground. Something I'm gonna have to use the cant hook for, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that because there's logs pinched around and they're way too heavy. So I think we gotta wait until we can get an excavator in to get the rest of these logs back out of this pile. And this back side of the pile is stuck between these two beautiful hemlocks. And I think it's gonna be so dangerous trying to buck these. They're all gonna just roll down the hill far away from the splitter. They're really too heavy to lift. Even when you buck them to 18 inches, they're so big. So on to the next pile. But there's lots of wood still to cut. These don't necessarily need to have the log splitter. They're all about 14, 12 inches and under, but we have it, so we might as well use it. I just picked our daughter up from her play date. We have a lot of wood split. I'm really happy. So this is a softwood pile. That is a hardwood pile. And that's mainly softwoods of birches and hemlocks. And there's some oaks in the bottom. And the people are wondering, do you appreciate me?
No, of course I do.
Not after this weekend. I have to say, this does go by so much more quickly with a splitter, more noticeably with the larger rounds, but it also goes by so much more quickly with the second person. You triple or quadruple your productivity. It's the long weekend here in Canada, and this whole weekend we haven't really spent a ton of time together as like a family unit. Our daughter has been out at play dates, at sleepovers. It's been so fun for her. So I thought it would be really great to have a bonfire. There's still so much cleanup left to do in this yard. There's sticks everywhere, and it's definitely not the priority. It's a one step at a time kind of thing, and the best way in my mind to deal with it is to have fun and have a little bonfire and roast marshmallows and to enjoy our Canada long weekend together. The fire is going,
Yeah.
Did he? Good morning. So we have to move the wood splitter today to a different property where I started this video, and that pine tree had fallen. Well, I have to cut the rest of the pine tree down. And it's like a 3-foot wide tree. Like, it's pretty big. So we want to bring the splitter over there before we return it to our friends who let us borrow it. But before we do that, there's just like 4 more trees I want to deal with here that I think is just going to be so much easier having the splitter for, and to kind of nearly finish off our pile. It's just one of those things that I feel like if we don't do it today, it's not going to get done until the fall. Like, we might get some more wood processed, especially if a friend calls and is like, hey, we have a maple for you. But like, at this point in the build, a long weekend's worth of wood is really kind of all we have to offer for our home this year. If we have to use electric heat, we will. Luckily, we have in-floor heating and it's really efficient. Or we could get a couple of cords delivered as well. But yeah, these just need to get done. today or they're just not getting done. Hemlock is one of the best softwoods to burn. We have a lot of softwood, and poplars are the worst. We have a lot of poplars, but we also have a lot of birches, which is another good softwood to burn. So the three that I just finished up processing, those are hemlocks. Oh. I thought it was the last one. Dip into the pool. We're here. The wood splitter made it. There's the tree that's coming down. A few weekends ago, we were dealing with the brush and the portion that, broke off. Honestly, there's still so much to do with it, and I don't think we'll get it all done this weekend, but we at least want to try to get some of it split while we have the splitter, because it's not going to be easy to move. It's a huge tree. Bush cam. This is the tree. She's not as big as I thought it was, probably about 2.5 feet. So I'm gonna get some little things out of the way, then cut my wedge. Here's the wedge. I think it's gonna I'm hoping it'll go this way and bypass. I think it's gonna honestly hit these trees here, these two small ones, but I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. Of course, my phone ran out of storage. Okay, it's not fully dropped yet though, so hopefully it's fine now. Okay, I have my wedges in. The tree is stuck on something. There must be something not cut. So I'm gonna give it a go again, and then I think it'll drop pretty quick. Too much of this hinge wood has been cut, so hoping the wedges will take it down. There it goes. The hinge wood was just holding on. Oh, that was too much of it cut. Awesome. Landed exactly where I wanted it to. It did hit this maple. I thought it would, but it was in the line of sight. It might still be saved actually. It's huge. We are going to work our way out, starting at the end closest to the driveway, and eventually we'll get the splitter down here, but this is gonna take a while. I don't know if we're gonna get it done today. There's a lot of wood. Hey. Okay, that part is done. Look at all these. Thanks, Cam. At this point, we were just so done and needed to finish this off because we knew if we were to go eat some food or lie down that this job would not get done. These rounds are absolutely massive. The logs don't even fit on the platform. Cam was having to split them into 6 to 8 sections and they were still ginormous. You could take one of these split logs and cut it into 3 more pieces before it could fit into a regular wood stove. We got the truck all packed up and had more left over and created a pile on the side of the road that will come back and get another day. We even got tempted to go in and eat a sushi lunch, much, but our friends so kindly got for us. But we waited until we were completely finished the task to celebrate a long weekend of splitting wood. We did it.
Yeah, man.
We did it. That was so much work. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Me?
No, the viewer.
Oh, what about me?
You're all right, I guess. This is your fault, so.
Is it?
Yeah.
Thanks for being you and thanks for being awesome.
Thanks, babe. He's gonna nap. We're gonna eat, actually. All right. That was exhausting. It's official. Our long weekend of splitting wood is finally over. That was so much work. Cam is going to unload this for me in the morning before work, and we have another load that we have to pick up of all the wood. And then we have to get to stacking, but that's just gonna be as we can. Thanks for following along. If you like the DIY journey, follow along, subscribe, like, and comment. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next Sunday.